Welcome to my channel. Support our channel by subscribing. Your subscription helps us grow and create more intriguing content like this. Now let's dive into today's story. Emma Carter. A 32-year-old successful lawyer at a prestigious firm. Emma is confident, ambitious, and always well put together. Her career has been everything to her, and she's worked tirelessly to maintain a perfect image. But beneath her polished facade, Emma harbors a dark secret, a passionate affair that threatens to destroy her seemingly perfect life. James Carter. A 34-year-old college professor, intelligent and reserved, James has always been the rock of the family. He met Emma in college, where they fell in love quickly. Although he is supportive of Emma's career, he is beginning to sense a growing distance in their marriage. He can't shake the feeling that something is wrong, but he hasn't figured out what yet. His world is about to come crashing down when he uncovers the truth. Lucas Evans. A 28-year-old real estate mogul, Lucas is charming, confident, and has a knack for making women feel special. He meets Emma through work when she's tasked with handling the legal aspects of his new development project. What begins as a professional relationship quickly turns into something more. Lucas is aware that Emma is married, but he has no intention of letting that stop him from getting what he wants. It had been a long week for James. He sat in his study, papers scattered across the desk as he tried to focus on his work. He had been feeling a strange distance from Emma lately. Her late nights at work were becoming more frequent, and her once lively conversations had turned into one-word responses. They had drifted apart, and James couldn't help but feel like an outsider in his own home. He had noticed the little things, the way she would disappear into the bathroom after work, taking an unusually long time to get ready, or how she would insist on staying late at the office when he knew her colleagues had already gone home. But it wasn't just that. There was a coldness in her eyes, a detachment that made him uncomfortable, and it gnawed at him, that feeling deep in his gut that something was wrong. But what? James tried to shake off the unease. He was overthinking. He loved Emma. They had built a life together, hadn't they? Yet that gnawing feeling remained. One evening, James arrived home earlier than usual, hoping to surprise Emma with dinner. But when he walked into the living room, he froze. Emma's phone was lying face down on the coffee table. The sound of a new text notification rang through the air, followed by a buzzing vibration. His eyes flickered to the phone. Emma had always been protective of her privacy, but there was something different about this moment. Something that told him he couldn't ignore it any longer. He walked toward the table, picked up the phone, and unlocked it. It wasn't a text from work. It was a message from Lucas. "Can't wait to see you tonight, beautiful. I'll be thinking about you all day." The words hit him like a punch to the gut. His vision blurred for a moment as he fought to control his breathing. His worst fear had just come to life. Emma, the woman he loved, the woman he had trusted with his heart, was cheating on him. He put the phone back down and stepped away, his mind racing. But it wasn't just betrayal. It was the sense of being completely blindsided. How long had this been going on? Was he blind to it all along? That night, James couldn't sleep. The phone sat on the table, taunting him. Emma's absence loomed large as she was still out at a late dinner with colleagues. It wasn't the first time, but this time felt different. When she finally returned, James was waiting for her in the living room. She stepped inside, her heels clicking on the hardwood floor. She smiled at him, but the smile was forced, the way it always was when she was hiding something. "Hey," Emma greeted, dropping her purse on the table. "Emma," James said, his voice low and steady, "we need to talk." She froze, her eyes narrowing with suspicion. About what? James didn't waste time. He walked over to the coffee table and picked up her phone. "This," he said, his voice trembling with restrained anger as he showed her the message. Emma's face went pale. Her eyes flickered to the phone, then back to him. "James, How long, Emma?" he demanded, his voice breaking through the tension. "How long has this been going on?" Emma's eyes welled up with tears, and she took a step back, shaking her head. "I never meant for this to happen. It was a mistake." "A mistake?" James echoed bitterly. "You've been sleeping with him for months and you call it a mistake?" "I didn't know what I was doing," she whispered, her voice full of guilt. "I was lost, James. You've been so distant. I thought I needed someone else to feel alive again." James was shaking now. "Hi. You couldn't talk to me." "I tried," she said, her voice small. "But you were always so wrapped up in your work. I felt alone." James stood motionless, staring at her. His heart was breaking, but his mind was clear now. She had betrayed him, and he couldn't just let it go. Not now, not after everything they had been through together. "I don't know if I can ever forgive you, Emma," he said coldly, "but I'm going to make you feel what I'm feeling right now." The next day, James didn't go to work. He stayed home, alone with his thoughts, plotting. He knew revenge wasn't going to be easy, but he had to make her understand the pain she had caused him. He thought about the affair, about Lucas, about everything Emma had lied to him about. The rage inside him began to grow, but instead of lashing out, he took a deep breath. He would make her pay, but he would do it on his terms. James spent the entire day gathering information. He tracked down Lucas's social media accounts, his business dealings, and even his background. It wasn't hard. He had worked in academia long enough to know how to dig into people's lives. And Lucas had made one critical mistake. He had underestimated James's ability to gather intel. By the evening, James had everything he needed. The following weekend, Emma and Lucas planned to meet at a local art gallery. Emma thought it would be a romantic outing, a way to reconnect. What she didn't know was that James was watching them, quietly, from the shadows. He had set everything in motion. The plan was simple but effective. He had reached out to the gallery's management and arranged for a private viewing, one that would include a surprise for Emma and Lucas. As they strolled through the gallery, admiring the pieces, Emma was completely unaware of James's presence. But as they entered a secluded room, the lights suddenly dimmed. A spotlight flickered on, revealing a massive screen on the wall. Emma turned to Lucas, confused. "What's going on?" Without warning, a video began to play. It was a recording of their affair. Every intimate moment, every lie, every secret they had shared was now exposed in front of her. James had arranged for a hidden camera to capture their meetings, their whispered words, their stolen kisses. Emma's face drained of color as she watched, horrified. Lucas looked around, panicking, but he was trapped. There was no escape. The video ended and the lights flickered back on. James stepped into the room, his face calm, but his eyes filled with a quiet fury. "Did you enjoy the show, Emma?" he asked, his voice icy. "How does it feel to see your own betrayal laid bare for everyone to see?" The days that followed were a blur. Emma was devastated, humiliated. She tried to apologize, tried to make things right, but the damage was done. The affair had torn apart everything they had built. James, on the other hand, found a strange sense of closure. He had exposed the truth, not for vengeance, but for himself. He needed to know that he wasn't the fool he had once believed himself to be. In the end, Emma left the house. The marriage was over. And though James's heart still ached with the loss of the woman he had once loved, he knew it was the only way forward. Thank you for watching. In Her Shoes. What do you think of James's plan for revenge? Was it justified, or did he take it too far? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more gripping stories. Sometimes, the only way to move on is to expose the truth. And in that truth, we find our freedom. Double asterisk.